Last time, we 3D printed and assembled the body of our BeamNG-inspired RC car. But we're far from done. In this episode, we refine the surface, add paint, and bring this build to life. And of course, if you didn't watch that episode, I highly suggest you go and watch it. Let's get started! Before we start painting, we need to make sure this surface is as smooth as possible. Last time, we did a lot of sanding. But now it's time to inspect everything closely and make sure no imperfections are left behind. If we skip this, every tiny flaw will show up in the final paint job, and we don't want that, do we? First, I'll go over every part with my hands. If I feel any bumps or rough spots, that means it needs another round of sanding. Next, I'll visually inspect each piece, looking for chipped filler, small dents, or high spots. Even the smallest defects can ruin the final look. Once everything looks and feels perfect, it's time to move on to painting. First, we start with a primer coat to ensure the paint sticks well and fills in small imperfections. I'm using Rust-Oleum 2-in-1 filler primer. This stuff sprays thick and does a great job covering small pits and rough areas. The key here is to spray evenly. Make sure to cover the entire surface without overspraying, because too much primer can lead to ugly paint run. Once the primer is fully dry, we go back to sanding. Yes, sanding, more sanding. I'll be using 400 to 600 grit sandpaper and wet sanding everything to get a smooth finish. Wet sanding helps remove any texture left from the primer and preps the surface for paint. Some areas might need another round of primer and sanding. If I see any dents, high spots, or chipped filler, I'll fix them now. The goal is to get everything as flawless as possible before moving on to color. So here we are. Everything is primed and ready for paint. I think the parts turned out okay. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. It's my first project and I'm not aiming to have this perfect. As I go, I will make more projects and they're gonna get better and better, I guess. Now, before we move on, I will assemble everything so I can print the car in one piece. I will use super glue to glue all parts together, then set it to dry for some time. I also applied some hot glue to the backside to strengthen the bond between all the parts. I have no idea how strong it will be. Turns out pretty strong actually. Well, the car is primed and assembled and ready to receive some paint. It already looks good, right? Let's continue. Now for the fun part, color. I chose gloss neon green to recreate the BeamNG car's color. For areas that needs to be black, I'll be using gloss black Rust-Oleum paint. When painting, always use paint from the same brand to ensure good adhesion and consistent finish. Also, you can get some weird chemical reactions. I'll apply 2 to 3 base coats, making sure to give each layer enough time to dry before moving on to the next. Patience is key here. Rushing will ruin the finish. And before the clear coat, I'll let the paint cure completely to avoid any issues. Now it's time for masking. Before applying the black paint, I need to carefully cover up any areas that should stay in the base color. Masking is crucial to get clean, sharp lines and prevent any unwanted overspray. I'll be using masking tape and paper to plug off these sections, making sure everything is sealed properly. Once that's done, I can start spraying the black paint exactly where it's needed, ensuring a crisp looking finish. Finally, it's time for the clear coat, my favorite part. This is what really brings out the shine and protects the paint. I'll apply a few light layers, making sure to get an even gloss finish without drips. I'll apply 2 to 3 coats of clear coat as well. And there it is, the paint job is done. Car looks absolutely insane, and I have to say, this has been a long journey, but totally worth it. It's not perfect, there is always room for improvement, but I'll let you guys be the judge. What do you think? How does it look? Let me know in the comments. We're still missing few key details, windows, lights, and some final touches, so stay tuned for the next part. And if you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.